Is this game a competitor for Light No Fire? Why did some people call it the scam MMO? Is it overpromising? Under-delivering? Could be. Frankly, I don't care. I am here to say what I think about its current state in terms of graphics, gameplay, content, etc. I find it beautiful, enticing, pulling me in to play more and more. But I am from the generation that thought 8-bit graphics are gorgeous. Yes, it is clunky at times and lacks finesse, but I can't wait to discover what others have already built. It has the potential to get me addicted, and yet the developers say it is in alpha stage and still unpolished. Does it make sense for 4 years of development? I don't know. Maybe they should have called it pre-alpha? After 30 minutes of play, my weary eyes needed some rest from the relentless, unstabilized motion of the third-person view. Now, I totally prefer first-person view, and this game doesn't make the option too obvious. You need to hit V for that. But after playing in third person for a few hours, moving to first person was more jittery than I could handle. So I switched back. My solution? Go to settings, change your field of view from 90 degrees to 75, already much better. The reality is that I'm in the middle of recording and editing a video for No Man's Sky and another video planned for Starfield, and I have a save game in Palworld and another in Valheim all waiting for me to continue, and I still decide to start with another short session in Dreamworld. Not because it is so great, but because there's a whole new universe to explore. I get to be a traveler in another universe. Some of the structures are beautiful, but like the rest of the game, some parts need help. Kinda like my channel, so please consider leaving a like and a comment. Thanks. There are so many elements already in the game. The game boasts being a game of builders, for builders, by builders, and yes, there are already dozens of structures built by players, showcasing some amazing possibilities that exist in the game for building. More about this later. Let's talk about specific stuff. The UI is not polished enough, for example. During the start of the game, I was asked to select a name. You guessed right, I picked GoodGuysFree. And for a couple of attempts, the game didn't accept my clicking on save. And then when it did, it said the name was taken. I'm still unsure what I did to get it accepted, but hey, it's okay now. The game takes some getting used to, but not so much. The typical controls are quite intuitive, WASD. The visual difference between walking and running is tiny, but running is usually about twice as fast, and there's also a sprint mode, which is significantly faster but has an endurance meter. The biggest problem, a lot of the movement isn't right. It's not a case of looking totally wrong. Each single move looks correct. There are lots of natural moves, mannerisms, etc., but the flow looks awkward at times, inconsistent. Walking or running a short distance looks fine, but walking a bit farther looks, how to say, a bit weird. This is something the game has to work on. I'm sure it'll be fine in future releases. Digging with my hands looks like I'm using my head to dig. I guess it's a feature of third-person view. As I progressed with the tutorial, I started to realize just how many aspects already exist in the game. There are bosses to fight, and the ability to craft things includes innumerous materials and combinations of materials. As you win melee battles against goblins or other NPCs or wildlife, your skills increase, and your loot could include scrolls that unlock more and more building parts. Let's talk about graphics. The Unreal Engine does the job. A lot of effort has gone into the game already, and the textures are great. My graphics card isn't so new, so I had to record some footage in full HD instead of 4K to see how it looks in higher graphics settings. It looks great. But when we're talking about the environment, lots of things need polishing. The desert biome crosses over to a freezing tundra biome quite abruptly. And there are cases where the procedural generation creates things that are simply off, like these weird formations here. Or cases where water biome stuff seems to be growing on land, or even funnier, water looks like it's a hill. Like I said, all things that need to be addressed, and in such a huge world map, it'll take some time. Now, the tutorial appears on the right side of the screen and can be collapsed with the Alt key, the left Alt. A larger version can be opened by holding the left Alt. You can choose which task to pin for easy tracking. There is an alchemy workbench and a spell workbench which I have not yet been able to unlock, so this promises even more complexity to explore. You start the game in this raised ground area close to the main city of Elysium. It doesn't take long to realize the city is located on a floating highland high in the sky of the world. To get to the world below, you need a glider, but at first, you don't know that. The game gives you tasks. They're all part of the tutorial. At the end of the tutorial, you are given the recipe to craft a glider, and you are prompted to go and explore the world below. The world is large. No, I don't think it's as large as Light No Fire claims to be, but still very large. Different types of trees can be found in different biomes, and different types of lumber are needed for some crafting recipes. Some recipes, however, don't care what type of lumber is used. But wait, I said the game is unpolished? Well, look at this. When you hit something, either during melee or when chopping down trees, the hitting motion turns you around. I expect it to stand firm and hit at the same point, but to do that, I must keep pointing myself back. Still, not hard to get used to compensating for this, and I guess it will be fixed at some point. Another thing to fix is the fact that the game is too quick to decide that you're trying to climb. Not a big problem, but needs to be fixed. Building. Well, there certainly are lots of structures already built, so you can see that it's possible to build amazingly beautiful things. You start by placing a reliquary, which creates a safe bubble where other players cannot build. I haven't figured out yet how to extend the bubble, which I think is a bit small. As you build, you are limited to the items in the hotbar at the bottom of the screen, but you can always hit B to open your inventory of building parts and move other parts into the hotbar. The one thing I'm really missing is some kind of banner that will remind me of the controls I can use for building, kind of like the No Man's Sky banner. It took me a while to open the controls and find out there's a way to do something like that already. Good! Should default to on. The game lets you increase and decrease part sizes, copy and paste whole chunks with great ease. In build mode, select one part after another, one right click, and you have a copy to place wherever you want. You need the resources, of course. I found that sometimes snapping wasn't as quick acting as I wanted, making it harder than I expected to place parts, but it's still not a big deal. Placing a part lets you change the material it is built from using just about anything you can think of. Simply hold the middle button to open the combination option display. There's also an ability to reorient the part you are placing in any axis, of course. This all leads to an ability to build intricate, beautiful structures, small and large. I really want to play some more, despite the game missing some things. One thing that's missing is the ability to use materials from close-by storage chests instead of having to move them into your inventory first. Using a storage chest has a nice feature of store similar. I love it. I would also like to have a control to move single items from side to side with one click instead of dragging. Is this game ready for release? No, the developers don't think so either. It is far from being ready, but it is also already very sophisticated, elaborate, and fun to play. Is this game a scam? If you want to abuse the English language, there are better ways. In a scam, the scammer usually gains something from the target by some illegal action or by some deception or fraud, and that is usually of a financial nature. None of that happens here. It is a shame that someone would use that kind of clickbait, and I am glad I didn't fall for that nonsense. Do I recommend you to try it out? Sure I do. Keep an open mind. Don't expect it to be perfect. If fluidity of motion and perfect looking graphics are your thing, maybe wait. But if you're like me, a traveler by heart, an explorer and builder, you'll easily forgive the various quirks and find the game is good fun, even in its current state. If you want to hear more about Dreamworld when I look into it again, please subscribe. GoodGuysFree here. See you soon.